Yeah, hi buddy. This is Hec. If you like the content for Hector Politics, like and subscribe. I don't have my comments on because I don't know. I got too many The reason I don't have my comments on because I got too many trolls, so I just decided that I'm gonna just disable the comments. Yeah, but like and subscribe to Hector's News and Politics. Well, just Hector Politics now. I shorten it. Yeah, more updated news, breaking news, U.S. politics, and just U.S. news and world news. Thank you. Cheers. Yeah, hi, buddy. This is Hec. If you like the content for Hector Politics, like and subscribe. I don't have my comments on because I don't know. I got too many. The reason I don't have my comments on because I got too many trolls, so I just decided that I'm gonna just disable the comments. Yeah, but like and subscribe to Hector's News and Politics. Well, just Hector Politics now. I shorten it. Yeah, more updated news, breaking news, U.S. politics, and just U.S. news and world news. Thank you. Cheers.
Yeah, hey guys, good morning. The United States is set to unleash new economic sanctions against Iran to pressure the regime in Tehran. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent wrote on Sunday President Donald Trump and the overwhelming might of our military have significantly dismantled Iran's military capabilities and weakened its nuclear program. Now we are entering the end game. At dawn begins an economic D-Day, the single greatest financial offensive ever marshaled against an adversary. The economic pressure comes as the Iranian rial crossed 2 million to $1, a historic low for the country's currency. The head of Iran's Supreme National Security Council responded on X, saying if the economic war continues, not a single drop of oil will be exported, neither through the Strait of Hormuz nor anywhere in the Persian Gulf. Iran will regard any country's participation in or support for America's economic war against the Iranian people as an act of war. Despite this statement, reports do indicate that crossings through the Strait of Hormuz are up 400% over the last 2 weeks. The United States is overseeing vessels out of the Persian Gulf through a safer southern passage. The passage does allow for millions of barrels of crude oil to be exported each day. Still, the Iranians remain defiant.
The fact that the United States has once again moved from military threats, saying that it will strike and so on, to reviving its old plans shows that they are truly desperate and have no solution when it comes to the great Iranian nation. Therefore, they keep bringing their old plans back onto the scene.
The U.S. naval blockade also remains in place as CENTCOM.
Let me see what the talking about North Korea and there will be more news. Absolutely, Iran talking about the Canadian like tariffs.
And another topic on politics, far-left streamer Hassan Piker kicking up a hornet's nest of outrage after leading a crowd and singing a song mocking Charlie Kirk over the weekend. Here's how it went. So that sparked furious reaction online. Turning Point spokesman Andrew Colvett posting, Hasan Piker is engaging in pure, unadulterated evil. Let's bring in our panel. Caroline Downey is the National Review columnist and Rich Zeoli, host of the Rich Zeoli podcast. It's great to have you both. So Austin's loss, the congressman that Alex Hogan talked about, was on Fox News Sunday. He was asked about this Piker song that he sang, and this is what he said.
I reject Hasan Piker's ideology, whether it was seeming to celebrate or at least excuse 9/11, whether it is seeming to excuse the assassination of Charlie Kirk, which I condemned immediately. The Democratic Party does not stand for what Hasan Piker stands for.
Caroline, maybe start with the fact that they thought leading a group in song about Charlie Kirk's murder in a mocking way was the right thing to do.
Yeah, no, it's so tiresome how the left pretends like they're the ones under threat as well as democracy itself, and then they literally relish political violence. This isn't a reluctant revolution where they say, well, you know, the Republican opponents, they're Nazis, we gotta be really aggressive. They're actually grave stomping in a jubilant way. I mean, Hasan Piker wears the costume of Mao Zedong, who is the most murderous dictator of the 20th century. He blows the death tolls of Hitler and Stalin out of the water. That's a very intentional wardrobe choice, and everybody knows it. But, you know, Jonathan Turley wrote a great column about this song and the way that the crowd was celebrating it, and he's right that Charlie Kirk built Turning Point USA on persuasion and substance and argumentation, good-hearted, reasonable debate. The reason why they are stomping on the graves of the dead, they're mocking them, is because they've run out of arguments. So they're past that point. This is the only thing they know how to do.
Democrats are getting a whole lot of questions about socialism these days. Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen was on Meet the Press over the weekend. He admitted he's kind of kicking the tires a little bit on a possible presidential run in 2028. And then he stumbled over a simple question. Would he accept a DSA endorsement? Take a listen.
I'm not going to sort of look into all these endorsements. I'm not going to reject an endorsement by certain individuals at the DSA, but I'm certainly not seeking the endorsement from the DSA. This whole debate is an effort by Republicans, as you heard from Senator Scott, to try to reduce, the turnout for Democrats. At the end of the day, what unites Democrats is economic populism, standing up for working people.
Rich, decipher that for us. This wasn't a gotcha question, right? He essentially says, I'm not looking for an endorsement from the DSA, but I'm not going to reject one either.
Well, if he rejects it, he rejects it at his own peril if he wants to be candidate in 2028, because the DSA controls everything. That's why you're seeing every Democrat, and this is what's happening right now, every mainstream Democrat is capitulating to the DSA. Chuck Schumer now saying we're a big tent, they're welcome here, because in order for them to maintain power, they have to kiss the ring of the DSA, which, by the way, is kissing the ring of Hasan Piker. Hasan Piker is not endorsing Republicans, and no Republican wants his endorsement. He's backing Democrats who are winning primaries. So the bottom line is this: if you have ambition for 2028, you better fall in line with the DSA. That means you got to back the billionaires tax, you better get on board Medicare for all, and eventually you're going to have to say it's a big tent and we want you in it.
That's what Hakeem Jeffrey said last Sunday too. He's like, I don't agree, but you're also welcome.
Right.
So there was that. El Sayed, the candidate in Michigan, he and J.D. Vance got into it a little bit over the weekend. So J.D. Vance had gone to Ohio. He slammed him and then came back. This is what El Sayed said about Usha Vance. Excuse me, here it is. It's on X. So do we think J.D. is taking Usha with him back in time to meet Papa or no? Okay, so this is a reference to Usha Vance and her heritage. This is what Vance said about El Sayed on Friday, which led to all this.
I'd love to go back in time and tell my papal that there's a man who claims to stand for working people who says not only should we have Sharia law, but if you criticize it, you're a white supremacist. That's not my papal's Democrat Party, my friends.
El Sayed had a stream of tweets over the weekend, like his preferred way to communicate. How do you think that's going to go over with Michigan voters? And how wrong is it to bring Usha Vance into it?
Well, I think there's ample fodder in El Sayed's rhetorical history for Republicans to pounce on. I mean, this is gutter-level politics, this kind of race baiting that he's playing into. He's insulting the wife of the vice president. I mean, I don't think this is going to perform well among the moderates and independents in Michigan. He basically implied that the Midwest is filled with bigots who think like this. That was the implication of the stereotype that he was peddling. And, recent polling suggests that he's actually underperforming right now Benson, who's another Democrat in the state, across every single demographic, including white people, including males, including women, except for Muslims. If he thinks he can ride a victory on that alone, I think he's sadly mistaken.
Rich, we'll give the final word to you here. You would think El Sayed would want to be targeting his opponent, right? Mike Rogers.
Yeah.
But over the weekend in recent days, the two people he's been targeting are Usha Vance and Natalie Hart, the president's assistant. Your thought?
Yeah, well, I can't wait to see Jesse Waters tear into him tonight. Get the popcorn ready. It's going to be great. He's a bad candidate. He has bad strategy. He doesn't want to talk about the issues. If he talks about the issues, he loses. Remember something. Everything he ran on works in a primary to get the nomination. It doesn't play with auto workers in Detroit. It doesn't play with black voters. It doesn't play with anybody who has two brain cells together who realizes how expensive all this is going to be. So yeah, he wants to spend time on the internet rage tweeting and rage baiting everybody because that's what he's used to. Remember, this guy came from a world of being a viral sensation. He's never actually had
Another example of left-wing star Hasan Piker acting despicably and somehow playing the victim. Hey guys, welcome back to the show, your home for independent and nonpartisan commentary and analysis on politics, media, internet insanity, and more. This one touches on all of the above, as so many of the topics we cover here does, or do, and it is Hasan Piker, because he is going viral once again, the far-left socialist streamer and influencer who has recently become kind of a political operative as well, campaigning with a number of far-left candidates who are headed for Congress or have won different nominations for the Democratic Party, so he is very much a rising tide in American politics, and he is, as a reasonable person would, responding to his increased importance and role within the party and in national politics with humility, by taking a more somber tone and realize, ha! You thought, just kidding. So he decided over the weekend to get together for a live show with some of his podcast co-hosts for the Fear and podcast and mock Charlie Kirk's death while dressed like Chairman Mao. Here's the headline. Hasan Piker mocks Charlie Kirk's death while dressed up like Chairman Mao. During the performance, Piker sang, "We are Charlie Kirk." We have the clip here of Hasan Piker singing this song, which the context is that this song was originally, it's incredibly cringe. It was made to honor Charlie Kirk, but then became adopted as like a troll song that people sing as a meme or a joke, or in some cases to like literally mock Charlie Kirk, as Hasan is doing here. He got everybody together for this live performance, and here's how he decided to dedicate some time during that performance. Let's watch.
Unafraid to die!
I don't think I need to play the full clip because, frankly, you get the idea, and his singing is not great, which I can't judge. I'm not a musically talented individual. But let's be clear, I can judge everything else about this, but I'm not going to judge the quality of the singing. So he then really doubled down on this, Hassan did, posting pictures from the live show and saying, we carried the flame again in Seattle tonight. And my initial reaction to this, and then we're going to get into some of the aftermath and the response, because of course it went mega viral, it got tons of backlash, and then of course Hassan is the real victim here, as he always is. But my initial thought about this was just how deeply sad it was and how revealing, because Hassan Piker got together with his most diehard fans and with his friends who he hosts a podcast with, the Fear and Podcast, for a live in-person event. And you have, an hour on stage or what have you, and that's what you decide to do with that time. You get everybody together, your most ardent supporters, and you mock a dead dude who was the victim of a horrific political assassination. That's just so bleak as an indictment of yourself and as of your own community. That's the kind of thing that you think of when you do a live show or a performance with your most diehard fans. You want to go through like a greatest hits or like the things you guys bond over the most or the best things you have to offer. And that's what Hassan Piker has to go with. And then they cheer and they love it and they find it so funny. And listen, I understand that Charlie Kirk memes have become a thing and laughing at diabolical Instagram reels your friends send you is one thing. But when you are a public political commentator, choosing to go and do this kind of thing publicly on stage just comes off as so incredibly distasteful to me. Really, really gross, especially as we're coming up on the 1 year anniversary.
I know this Black from Colombo guy is like right person, but Charlie, on Pike and me, Charlie Kirk. And I wasn't a fan of Charlie. I don't know what to tell you guys. Like Charlie Kirk was, he built TP USA, but I think I'm gonna get off. I'll see you guys. I just wanted to watch this like two Hassan Piker, who I disavow, represent the left, and the news. So I'm gonna get off. I'll see you guys. I'll get off for the day.
We have Charlie Kirk's horrific murder, and it's also doubly strange and triply strange, not just because it's in such poor taste. And the problem is, like Hassan, his instant defense is, it's just a joke. You're just all triggered snowflakes or whatever. Haha. It's really not though. I mean, he's literally said Republicans should be murdered on his stream.
He just, I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna see you guys. I have to go do. I'll get off for the rest of the day. So cheers. This is gonna become a video. Like and subscribe to Hector's Politics. Cheers.